Now,
biggest meltdown in Stanley Cup playoff history is now owned by the Calgary Flames. Up 3-0, got it in the bag, trying to stave off elimination, and then that is soiling the sheets right there.
Oh, yeah.
how about that?
I just want to talk about Vegas for a second, obviously. Our 10th city for
We're going to
viewership, I
Vegas.
guess.
Yeah.
In the top
Also, my
10
buddy
is
Cole.
Las Vegas.
He's in
They
Frisco
get it
and
in
Plano.
Vegas.
Well, they get it.
They get it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the RP Show. Darren, what were we saying about trolling
I know.
in the pregame meeting?
We were talking about
And
that.
I said, I don't troll Calgary. And then they play that. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Thank you, Rick Regan. Hope you're up and at 'em in Wichita, Kansas today. The big voice guy here at the RP Show. We're taking flight. Episode number 474 of Canada's daytime sports talk show is on the air, talking a lot of Canadian sports. I see on the screen, we are live. The Prairie Mobile text line is charged up and ready to go, waiting to hear from you wherever you may be watching or listening from today. Write us, 306-840-8777. That's 840-8777. If you text me now, we won't necessarily get to it now, but we've got viewer takeover segments coming up later on in the day. And a lot to talk about today with guests. Craig Smith, our director of scouting, two-time Grey Cup champion, will be with us. I just want to say he nailed his picks last year on the NFL draft. We'll see if he does it again when he joins us here in Block 2. And in Hour 2, the Toronto Argonauts Director of Player Personnel, John Murphy, who does all kinds of American media appearances this week leading into the NFL draft. Murph will join us. His Twitter is @DraftJM. He has an interesting story when it comes to personnel and drafting and stuff. So I'll let Murph tell you when he joins us in Hour 2. How are you doing, Moose?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
There's a big party in here yesterday. Who was it? Was it Clark that cleaned it all up? Thanks, Clark. We had gift bags left over there and pizza stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the occasion was other than Wednesday.
It's just a Wednesday around here.
I know it's so much fun. It's the locker room talk. All right, let's go to the quick six show topics, please, Director Jordan. Please and thank you. Wednesday NHL leftovers. Let me bring this up on my Twitter so I don't forget any of them. Oh, yeah, I tasked you and Clark to watch the Leaf game last night.
That's right.
Well, how about that? Wasn't much of a game. What did it end, 4-1?
Yeah.
They beat Montreal 4-1.
There was no playoff intensity in that game. There really wasn't.
Kind of disappointing.
It was very disappointing to the point where it loosely had my attention for most of the game, right? It was one of those where you catch yourself drifting off to somewhere else. And you watch the whole game, and the Leafs played okay, and, you know, it was a tough one for Montreal. When you score in the first shot of the game, and it was downhill from there for Montreal. They played okay in terms of, you know, playing the game, you know, time of possession, all those little things, but yeah, it just was not it for me.
By the way, just some of our viewers, this is the interactive portion of this show. My wife and I went for a walk last night just before the Oilers-Jets game, and I said, what hasn't changed for our show, 474 episodes in, it's mind-blowing that you can be watching and get a message to the guy in the screen back to you. For instance, Cody writes in, he says, morning, Rod, Darren, and Clark, watching from rainy Spruce Grove, Alberta. Great sports day today with the Battle of Alberta and the NFL draft tonight. This is a guy, Cody, that wrote us last week, and he said, I discovered your show over a month ago on Game Plus TV and haven't missed an episode since because you actually you're the only show that talks Canadian sports. So thank you, Cody. I wanted to get that in there.
Good.
And one of our sponsors, Darnell from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, says, finally some time for me to tune into the show. So good morning, Dar, and to Rox from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, who sponsor the program, but also the Rockstar of the Day. Incidentally, the Rockstar of the Day yesterday was Jim Clubber Lang, Canada's foremost NFL expert. You think it might be Christmas for him today?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not done yet. So the Jets last night, we watched the game. It was a better effort. What did it end up? 3-1, I think. McDavid had 3 points for the Oil. It was a better effort, but the Oilers right now look unstoppable. And right now it's looking like if these two teams line up in the first round, it's going to be a short series. And do you believe that a big save early in a game or a post can change the entire complexion of a game?
Completely.
Okay, so did I. Jets fans, tell me, who was it that Koskinen robbed last night? Was it Kyle Connor in the opening couple of minutes? It was that what I did to you on the outdoor rink. Remember, you thought you scored, and if you can put the camera, it's the goalie trick. You look down and out, then you just go boop with your stick like this, put it back and stop it. That happened, and then a couple minutes later, the Oilers come down and score, and you just see the Jets have no confidence. They're making mistakes in all three zones, and I don't know if they're going to get it back now. I don't know. But Mikko Koskinen had the game of his life. Every time the Jets threatened, they pushed. Here's another one. What was the term that I heard from Kevin Sawyer last night on the TSN broadcast? It was a low event period. Like, I love Kevin Sawyer. Called his games with the Spokane Chiefs when he played, coached there. I need a Kevin Sawyer dictionary. Puck management, low event period, 3-on-3 at the blue line, bumper zone. What the hell language is he speaking? And most of the analysts are getting it that way. It's not just Kevin Sawyer.
I know, right? And it's the new language of hockey, and we're going to have to tune in.
Why do they do this?
We have to adapt, Rod. We're going to have to adapt, or we're going to be left behind. So I think that's going to be important.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we have to adapt, or we'll be. But I'm not ready. But yeah, the Koskinen save. The save is one thing, but then scoring shortly after. That's like the dynamite blow, right? Like, that's the big shot to the gut. That's like, oh, it's going to be this kind of night. And your confidence isn't there. And then you're in that mindset, and that takes the wind out of the sails. A big save, maybe, okay, we can still keep pushing. But they get the save at one end, they get the break at the other, and they score. It was over.
A fragile team can't withstand something like that in the first period. A confident team can. You just said it. So can somebody do a glossary, a dictionary of new millennium hockey terms? It would help me out a lot in my role. And throw in there a top six forward and a bottom four defenseman and all the things we had fun with a couple weeks ago talking about this. Because sometimes I wonder what I'm watching. James Henderson, not sure why I'm ringing the bell, but James in Borden, Manitoba writes in and says, he goes, I don't care if Paul Maurice is the nicest, smartest guy in North America. He's lost the team. If you're happy with mediocrity, then he's your man. Can I just say this in defense of Paul Maurice? And I told you why I'm fans of him yesterday. The players have to do it. Paul Maurice can't go out there and do it. I think he's done his job. He can't get them to stop making mistakes. He can't get them to play defense if they don't want to. So I'm not on the fire Paul Maurice bandwagon. I'll also say this. Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, have won 10 in a row. Just pointing that out there. And the Canada game, I have not yet. Nobody's told me yet how to watch more than one game at once. And it really sucked last night that Canada was playing Latvia at the exact same time as the Oilers and the Jets. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd flip over at the end of the period, and there's 47 seconds left in the period of the other game. So
that's useless, yeah.
Well, how do you watch two games at once? I know. Unless you have two screens.
You need two screens, and even then, you want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good one for Canada. I didn't watch much of it either. Couldn't. You're trying to, even when the Leafs game was over, I want to watch the Jets game, right? So, yeah.
It's okay when it's a doubleheader, but concurrent not. Anyways, there's some hate out there for Connor Bedard. Well, of course there's going to be, because he's doing great things. That's what haters do. They try and drag down people that are doing great things. We know that, right? They're insignificant people that have done nothing with their lives, so they want to pull down somebody who's doing great things. Connor Bedard, 2 assists last night in a 4-2 Canadian win over Latvia. I got mail coming in here. People saying, Rod, he doesn't stand out. Rod, he's too small. He'll never make it. Listen, zip it. Shut up. He's 1.5 points a game as an underage in the World Under-18s, and they're 2-0. And if you think that they didn't beat Latvia by enough, go jump in the lake or go have a walk or a nap or whatever, but get away from me. Didn't win by enough. They're so Canadian when it comes to hockey.
No, and it is. It is. And now, it's just, I don't like that mindset. You won the game. Did you play well? Are you happy with the process? Yes. And yeah, they just ended up beating a bigger hockey power, a lot worse than they did against Latvia. But Latvia's there for a reason. They played Canada strong. I mean,
Sucks when the other team tries.
yeah, right? It happens. We only beat them 3-1 last year in the tournament, or in 2019.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's my thought on that. Canada's got a day off today before they play. Is it Finland tomorrow, I think?
Yeah.
We'll figure that out tomorrow. So point 2 now, it is NFL draft day. And when I say draft day, I mean round 1. And are you going to be ordering pizza, Four Seasons, Papa John's, whatever we get inundated with commercials for the NFL to watch round 1? Because it's a thing. And tomorrow we'll probably spend more time on a Football Friday on the mechanics of the draft and talk about what goes on tonight in round 1. God knows you're getting enough coverage everywhere else. But in 1980 was when ESPN broadcast the draft for the first time. It had been going since 1936. And it was a bunch of old white guys sitting around a table in a hotel boardroom just calling names. Kind of boring. And ESPN said, hey, can we come in and televise this? And the NFL's like, it's Paul Tagliabue, or Pete Rozelle at the time, the commissioner, goes, it's kind of boring. I don't think you want to do it. ESPN said, leave that to us. And they turned it into what it is now, a 3-day extravaganza. And I compare that to the CFL draft, which I'm not sure will ever be sexy. I'm not sure it'll ever be sexy, but it's still important. But we'll spend more on that tomorrow because that'll be an actual Football Friday. To point 3, the Manny Show has signed in the Indoor Football League. And I think people don't give the Indoor Football League its due. Go Google it. They got teams all over America, from Bismarck to Frisco, Texas. I think San Diego has a team. Emmanuel Arsenault, CFL star. Probably not a Hall of Famer, I don't think. It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
He is signed in the Arena League in America. And the 3 Down broke the story today. Way to go, Justin. If you read the story, I don't know if you saw it. He said that he would look at coming back to the CFL if they play. But the Indoor Football League, maybe they got to look at getting these guys on television. I think in a case of Manny Arsenault, he's in Dallas anyways. He's obviously doing something else for a job because CFL players haven't been paid for a year and a half. How many people realize these guys haven't gotten a paycheck in a year and a half from the Canadian Football League? You're not playing in the Indoor Football League to get rich. Why are you doing it? To play football. And Martavis Bryant, I'm not sure if it's the same league or not. He's playing in Massachusetts. Is it the Arena Football League? You guys help me out with that. But, I just think it's exciting. Does it not make you want to follow it a little bit?
It does. When there's players that we know.
Yeah.
And people we have a rooting interest for, I'm in. Right? That'll make me want to watch it. I mean, you'll always get the crowd that, I'll watch football no matter what, at any level. And that's how we are about hockey in this country. But when you have players to follow, it's a lot easier to go and want to watch those games. And they want to be on the field. Players want to play. You've said that before. And, you have a limited time to play the game, right? Mm-hmm. You can only play for so long. So take advantage of as many snaps as possible. And that's clearly what those guys are doing.
Monty in Saskatoon says it. He says, finds a job. The Manny Show has found a job playing in pro football, which is the Indoor Football League. So we'll be following that. Dean Tix watching, he says, there's an IFL team here in Green Bay, the Green Bay Blizzard. So I think if you've spent any time in or around football, you got a pretty good idea of who those teams are in that league. And I say kudos to Manny Arsenault. He's signed with the Frisco Fighters. James on YouTube, James Thrice. You guys got to remind me where you're from. James, I think he's in Oklahoma. He says, I love the indoor arena football game. And I had said, how many years ago has it now that I said my dreams to start a prairie indoor football league from Winnipeg to Calgary, spring ball indoors for graduating Canadian players and any Americans that want to come up. We'll pay you $500 a game. I've kind of lost my fire for that. This is where what I want to build.
Yeah.
But my director of scouting would be Craig Smith.
Yep.
I would have him rate everybody, have a draft. And, hey, you've played U Sports football. Maybe you played NCAA. You want to continue your career. Come play in our arena league. And we play in Medicine Hat and Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. We play in Red Deer. We play in Winnipeg. We bus it from Winnipeg to Edmonton. And we just have a big old time. Somebody else needs to do that, though. We had a news conference here in Regina probably 10 years ago. The North American Indoor Football League was going to put a franchise right here in the sweatpants capital. We were all excited. Never heard from him again.
Came and went. And
grand opening, grand closing.
They roll in big press conference, and they realize, okay, we're not coming back, I guess.
Armando, watching in Mexico City, says, I actually find the Spring League more interesting. Bunch of former XFLers there. Well, you got to make your name somewhere. I find it all interesting, and I think we all do. Moving on. Some great comments coming in here today, by the way. Hey, Brady. How about this one? He writes in, how about them Habs last night? Pretty good. Go Habs, go. On Monday, Brady, you said the Montreal Canadiens were embarrassing. So, pick a lane. Oh, he's being sarcastic. I'm sorry. Sarcasm doesn't come across in print. Oh, yeah, they lost last night 4-1. Okay, you're staying on that side. I got you. But when Montreal upsets the Leafs in the playoffs?
Are you going to stay on that side? Probably not.
Sorry, Brady, I misunderstood you. We got to hurry up. Smitty's in. Point 4, George Springer, 0 for 4 in the Blue Jays debut for him last night. It was one game. Bigger concern is a 9-2 loss to the Washington Nationals, and Steven Matz got blown up. Can't start him against Washington.
Yeah.
He's now 1-9 all time, I think, against the Nats.
Yeah, everybody's got their kryptonite.
Yeah, could we not start somebody else?
Yeah. You have to, every team is just not another team.
Charlie Montoya, where were you on that one?
Yeah. Swing and a miss.
Jay's off today. But they split with Washington. They're still either splitting or winning series. They're 11-12. How about that? And point 5, the Dub Hub wraps up. It wrapped up last night. Kind of interesting. I'm enjoying what's going around on social media. The photo of the Wheat Kings, they all gathered around the Subway Cup. I guess we jumped the gun Sunday when we announced they'd won the Subway Cup because they clinched it.
They did.
Because we were paying attention very closely. I guess the rest of the world wasn't. But last night, they lost and still clinched the cup.
I know.
Whatever.
And they did the celebration on the line and stuff. I know it's tough. How do you celebrate after you've lost a game? That can be tough, right? But it looked pretty fun. Braden, you saw the video?
Oh,
Braden Schneider went and took the Subway Cup over to the fans that were in attendance, the Wheat Kings fans, right? They had cardboard cutouts in the corner, and he raised it in front of them so they could see it. And it seemed like the players had some fun with it, at least. So that was good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, normally you'd celebrate Sunday night.
You should have, yeah.
That's what the baseball teams do.
Yeah.
Right? With the ski gog, whatever. Way to go, Brandon. And it was a lot of fun. Kudos to everybody that pulled it off. The Western Hockey League, the WHL East teams. And, our night ended Tuesday along with Winnipeg Ice. And it is now summertime. But bravo to everybody involved. We're going to break and come back with our Director of Scouting, Craig Smith. The warm-up is brought to you, as you know, by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Calling up the text here from the Greek Freak. Order a fabulous Four Seasons pizza and your favorite beverage for takeout and delivery. One-stop shopping, call or order online. The NFL has made the draft a TV event, and it's tonight. So set yourself up from the Four Seasons. And our Director of Scouting, Craig Smith, joins us next to talk NFL Draft and CFL Draft. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.